Hi all, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Mills. I am a certified health coach. I typically help people heal eczema naturally through a diet and lifestyle program. But today I am showing you what ROMEE STRIJD eats in a day.
Today we're going to do a what I eat in a day at home.
And so she's actually a Victoria's Secret model. She has her own channel. She does a lot of vlogs where she travels, does Victoria's Secret things, does photo shoots. And a couple days ago, she actually showed us exactly what she eats in a day. Now, there kind of has to be a disclaimer here because I think there's a misunderstanding that these videos show exactly what one person eats every day, but instead it really just shows what one person eats on one single day. And so I'm sure she does not eat this way every single day. This is just for fun. And so today I'm actually going to copy her diet. I do have a couple slight changes and I'll tell you guys why I make those changes. I hope in this video that I can teach you guys just a little bit more about nutrition, especially connecting it back to what ROMEE said in her videos. She talked about omega-3 fats, and so I'm going to go into further detail so that you guys can learn but also watch a fun video. So let's get started with breakfast. I'm actually starving and I get to eat oatmeal. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So this morning I actually walked to my local grocery store just to get some bulk items. I don't typically eat like her whatsoever. So I went to the store, I got some oats, I got some goji berries, I got almonds, I got all sorts of things to help me do this video. And so I'm gonna kind of see how I feel throughout the day because like I said, this is not how I typically eat in my day. And if you haven't seen it already, I do have a recent what I eat in a day. So go a couple videos back and you should find that video so you can see what I typically eat. So I wanted to tell you something interesting about oats. So it turns out that a lot of oats actually contain Roundup, which is a pesticide created by the company Monsanto. So this is actually pretty toxic. And so what you want to do is find gluten-free organic oats if you are gluten-free and you struggle with gluten issues like myself, because some oats are processed where wheat is processed. I'm a big fan of cooking my oats with milk and water, so I'm going to go ahead and pour in a cashew milk, and then I'm going to top it off with water, heat it up, and bring my oatmeal right back. Okay, so I have officially cooked my oatmeal. It's right here in the bowl. All I did was pop it in the microwave real quick, but you can obviously just boil it, put it on, or you can heat some really hot water and pour it over your oats. It all works the same way. But I wanted to quickly talk to you about some alterations I made to ROMEE's breakfast. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about was she actually puts peanut butter on her oatmeal, and that's something I'm going to omit from doing. So peanuts are actually not my favorite thing to eat ever. So instead I'm going to sub that out for almond butter. But with almond butter comes some complications as well. So if you do choose to go with peanut butter, make sure that the peanut butter you're eating is one ingredient. All it should be is peanuts blended together. And you also want to make sure that it's organic peanuts. So peanuts are not actually technically a nut. And they aren't necessarily the most nutritional dense and the best for you. Peanuts do contain a very high level of what's called lectins. It's basically a plant protein that can wreak some havoc in your body. If you follow the Plant Paradox or Dr. Stephen Gundry, he advises you to stay away from lectin-containing foods. Well, I don't exactly follow him completely, but I have cut out peanuts. They are something that a lot of people are allergic to for a pretty good reason. It kind of goes into the whole, like, you know, when you have a gluten allergy, dairy allergy, if you stay away from those things, I recommend you stay away from peanuts as well. So today I'm going to use almond butter, but almond butter is actually really high in something called omega-6. In ROMEE's video, you see her talk about how she adds chia seeds to her oatmeal for omega-3 fatty acids. Well, omega-3 actually helps omega-6 turn into a really good usable form for our body. If you just have almonds without the chia seeds, you may have some inflammation, you may see yourself get a headache, and so what you want to do is pair your high omega-6 things like almond butter, and also pumpkin seeds, which is another thing she adds to her oatmeal. Make sure you're pairing that with chia seeds, or a good source of omega-3, and so that can be salmon, sardine, mackerel. ROMEE also does talk about the combination of fruit and cinnamon to make sure your blood sugar levels don't raise dramatically.
I sprinkle some cinnamon because I heard cinnamon is helping to keep your blood sugar in control. So I feel like when you eat it with fruit, it really helps.
That was a really, really good tip, and I'm really glad she shared that with you guys. And I'm also going to do that. So now it's time to assemble our oatmeal.
I see you standing there, a soothing atmosphere. Smell of your aftershave, sweet blossom in the rain. You flip around your hair as if you're unaware, but you should know that I'm looking at you. You make me feel like I'm made of colors, just you and me, ignore the others. Do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause I do, I do, I do, I do, I do believe in lovers like me and you. Yeah, you just keep on dancing all night out on the roof. Tell everybody.
Okay, breakfast is completed, and my impression of it is she did a really, really good job creating a very filling breakfast with pretty much all the nutrients that you need. You have your fat, you have your carbs. Oats are like major carb loaders, and so what carbs do for your body is give you lots of energy, and so the fats keep you full for a long time. And so I actually really like the way she eats, and I don't think I'm gonna have a hard day today trying to follow this. So far, breakfast was delicious, and I almost couldn't finish it. It was actually quite a lot to eat. And I think there's that misconception that models eat a lot less than the average person. And honestly, it depends on the day for them, because I think they have a lot more fasted days. They have very busy schedules, and the normal Western diet doesn't allow for us to fast very much. We eat all year long, and it's actually pretty bad for us. So I recommend, if you can fast or do intermittent fasting a couple times a month, that's extremely healthy for you. A+ for breakfast. I really liked that. And I think there's a snack coming up that I'm pretty excited about, and keep watching because I'm gonna make some homemade hummus. Alright everybody, so please excuse the wind. It is a little windy outside, but I wanted to show you that I try to get some daily sun for some vitamin D. Vitamin D actually helps you get strong bones because it helps your body use calcium. So it's now snack time. It's been a couple of hours since we had the oatmeal, and ROMEE likes to eat strawberries and almonds. So she explains in this clip that she likes to have a source of natural fat with her fruit so that the fat helps reduce her blood sugar.
Fruit, so I'm doing strawberries, and I love to pair it with almonds. I love to combine it with almonds because when you eat your fruit with something that has fat in there, it helps you to like balance out your blood sugar.
Now, that's not really something I hear too often. Right after that, she then explains that she's not a nutritionist, but it is good to not just load up on fruit, but also pair it with something that is a little bit more dense and will keep you full longer, because you don't want to just eat things that'll spike your blood sugar. I actually thought I was gonna hate this snack. I was like, well, because I got unsalted almonds, I was like, well, how good is that possibly gonna taste? It actually tastes a lot better than I thought. I made sure that both of these are organic. I make sure that the majority of what I eat is organic because I'm not very fond of eating Roundup, which is a pesticide, herbicide that they spray onto crops and then you consume that. So, I don't love that, so I try to eat organic when I can. Okay, so I wanted to just jump in real quick and talk to you guys about this really cool service. I wasn't paid to talk about this in the slightest, but I think they're amazing. It's called Imperfect Produce, and so basically It's like when you go to the grocery store, everything pretty much looks the same. Like a tomato has to be red and round. Well, if there's produce from the crops that actually are imperfect, whether it's a size thing or a color thing, or whether there's just too much of it, they send that produce to Imperfect Produce and they sell it to people like me. So I have what's called the organic box. And so I just got a box in today, and I thought it'd be really cool to show you guys because later I'm actually using one of the things from this box to eat in ROMEE's diet. So for one reason or another, all of these little produce were not accepted into stores, or they were rejected by the stores, all of that. And so I have these carrots here, and this is actually something that she's gonna have for a snack later on today. And I guess the issue with these carrots is that they were imperfect, but to me, they look cool. They just aren't as long at the ends as the carrots that you usually see in the store. And then I have this really cool vegetable, and I've actually never experimented with this before, so I have no idea what this is gonna be like, and I don't even know the name of it. But I was excited. So basically you can customize your box every single week and tell them what you want in it. And so I saw this and I was like, yeah, why not? So then in this box I have sweet potatoes, they sent me peaches, and then they sent me apples. So this week was kind of a smaller box, and the good thing is you just pay for like whatever it is you want. So I usually pay like 14 bucks each week, but you can add more produce or less produce depending on what you eat. But I just thought this was really cool. Check them out on Instagram or on their website. They're not in all locations around the US, but there are actually multiple types of this company that might service your city. So try looking that up on the internet if you're interested in something like that. But I think it's time to start on lunch, and I actually have to make a homemade hummus to use for lunch. So I'm gonna teach you guys that in a little bit. All right, so I wanted to show you how easy it is to make your own hummus. So in ROMEE's video, she actually had a store-bought hummus, and she mentioned that you had to be careful about the ingredients. Well, you're right. Sometimes hummus can have some not so great ingredients in it, and so I wanted to teach you how to just make it at home. So I went ahead and already did my chickpeas, so I made sure all the aquafaba was off of it. So aquafaba is the liquid. It's basically water, and all the chickpea stuff goes into the water. It's when you buy a can of chickpeas and you drain off the liquid, that liquid's called aquafaba. So it's basically just like chickpea juice. So I took all the chickpea juice off of it, and now we're just going to put it right in my blender. Then I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of avocado oil, and then I have everything but the bagel, sesame seasoning, and a little bit of sea salt, and we're gonna try to make us some homemade hummus. So I actually really wanted to talk to you guys about this bread. So it is a gluten-free pumpernickel bread, and it's by the brand Simple Needs. And so it's a North Carolina-based company, and you can actually order it from all over the US, and they'll just send you a bunch of packs of bread. And so it's gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, it's everything, and it tastes fantastic. It's the only bread I'll eat, and it's a shame because I don't live in North Carolina. So I like to order bread, and I highly, highly recommend it. It tastes fantastic. It holds up like regular bread. It toasts really well like regular bread. And so now I'm just gonna add this avocado. And so she eats a whole avocado for lunch, and she puts half on one side, and then she'll put hummus and the other half of the avocado on the other side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this, and then I'm gonna toast some pumpkin seeds. She actually uses sprouted watermelon seeds, but instead I'm just gonna toast some pumpkin seeds and top it, and then add some chipotle seasoning and some garlic and some sea salt.
So then I'll add some pepper, some sea salt, and some chili flakes. You can also play around with your seasonings. You can do cumin, you can add garlic, whatever you feel like. And then it's time for the egg. And then last but not least, I love to add some seeds. So these are sprouted watermelon seeds. You can also do pumpkin seeds when you can grill them a little bit.
So while my pumpkin seeds are toasting, I just wanted to talk to you guys because as you see, I actually omitted an egg. So in this video, ROMEE actually eats an egg right on top of here, and I don't consume eggs. They contain an enzyme called lysosine in the egg whites, and it's actually bad for people who have eczema, so I omit that. Just put a little chipotle seasoning on there. As you hear the timer in the background, I have my pumpkin seeds toasting. I'm going to show you guys something really, really cool. So this is Indian black salt, and it actually has that sulfur eggy taste. So instead of real egg, I'm going to put a little bit of this on there to give it that eggy taste. And so this is just a type of salt. It has a high sulfur content just like eggs, and it tastes amazing.
I see you standing there, a soothing atmosphere. Smell of your aftershave, sweet blossom in the rain. You flip around your hair as if you're unaware, but you should know that I'm looking at you. You make me feel like I'm made of color.
Okay, so for a snack, ROMEE likes to have a tea. So I've actually already made some tea. I'm drinking something quite interesting. I'm drinking dandelion tea, paw de arco tea, and a tulsi ginger tea, and I just put all the bags in one container. So basically, dandelion detoxes your liver, paw de arco helps clear out any bad bacteria called candida, yeast overgrowth, and then tulsi is an adaptogen which helps your body deal with stress. So I'm drinking this while I prepare her snack, which is cucumber and carrots that she eats with hummus. So dinner is the meal that I had to make the most modifications for. And this is because I don't really eat exactly like she does, especially when her last meal was created with HelloFresh.
This one, it's the eggplant from the oven with feta and pomegranate seeds. Then we garnish it with some mint. So I also wanted to share with you guys that I got a really nice promo code from the people from HelloFresh.
So I didn't have access to all the seasonings and the sauces that she used, so I actually had to create my own. So I based my seasoning, I did like a avocado oil, threw in some ginger, clove, coriander, all of that to try to mimic the spices that she used on her eggplant. And so I spread that all over the eggplant, but first I made sure to do cuts into the eggplant so that it soaked down into it. And instead of brown rice, I actually made white rice. I'm not the biggest fan of brown rice. I think it's not easily digestible like white rice is. And then for my yogurt tahini sauce, I literally did tahini, yogurt, garlic powder, a little bit of water, and sea salt. So we're gonna see how this tastes. In hers, she also uses pomegranate seeds to top it. I don't actually have pomegranate seeds. They're not currently in season, so I'm gonna skip out on those. I don't think it really goes with the meal. Maybe it does, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm gonna skip out on those today. So I noticed that ROMEE actually eats a lot of seeds during the day, and this isn't actually something that I do very often. I actually don't eat seeds at all. For various reasons, they do contain a lot of lectins. If you believe in something like that, I personally just don't find that they digest the best. I do, however, love ground flax seeds. That's my favorite type of seed. So in her dinner, she also put a seed mix on. I'm gonna skip out on that. My digestion isn't the best after eating this today. I actually feel like she eats a lot. Like today represented quite a lot of food, and I'm actually struggling to eat it. Like I still have the snack from earlier sitting here. I wasn't able to finish it. Another thing I'm gonna skip out on is they put feta cheese on this eggplant, and I actually don't eat dairy whatsoever, and so instead I'm gonna put a plant-based cheese on it, which I think is gonna taste really great. They also topped theirs with fresh mint, but I didn't want to buy a whole thing of mint just to put a couple leaves on to make it look nice, so I'm gonna skip out on that as well. But this is pretty much it. It's an eggplant dinner with rice. And I actually never eat eggplant either. Eggplant is considered a nightshade vegetable. It can be inflammatory for some people. I just avoid it. Cucumber is also the same way as that, and that's just not something I eat. And goji berries are nightshades as well, and I just kind of avoid all of those things. It works better for my digestion. But let's try this dinner, and then I'll give you my overview for how I feel this day.
I've got the time to show my love and what it's all about. Fading up, fading down below the laser guns. I've got a heart that has been traumatized.
I mean, it's kind of good. The eggplant's actually a little bit bitter. Eggplant just is not my favorite. I will, however, eat this. So, let's wrap things up. Okay, so what's my overall impression? I don't love it, but I do feel full and satisfied, and I don't feel hungry throughout the day whatsoever. I feel like she does a really good job of mixing fats with carbs and getting all of her macros in. There wasn't a whole lot of protein in this day, but I'm sure she gets that on other days. She probably does fish a couple of times a week. It's pretty clear to me that she has worked with a dietitian in the past. She does know pretty much what she's talking about. So shout out to her. This was a really good video. It was a fun day. I don't love eggplant and I don't love seeds, but overall I had a really good day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is definitely something different on my channel. Give this a big thumbs up if you like it, and I'll make more videos like it. See you in my next video. Bye.
I like crashing waves, but I wanna see them at